Welcome to Home and Garden Fix and Tricks, guys. I'm Nikal. If you are new to the channel, welcome. If it's the first time you're watching, we hope you like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. All right. So my returning subscribers, I want to say thanks to you for coming and stopping by, right, and supporting the channel so far. And as I said, if you are new, please feel free to subscribe to the channel so that you can get more videos like this. On a Monday, I am introducing a new segment where I introduce mechanical videos where I fix my car and so forth, simple machines around the house. So we call it Mechanic Monday. So for those persons who are mechanically inclined and want to fix cars, you can, stay tuned, subscribe for that. We do that on a Monday. All right. So for this video, I am going to show you how to pollinate your pumpkin or your melon or your cucumber plants. All right. So these plants, they produce fruits with a flower like that and a flower like that. All right. So that's the female flower right there. If you don't see any insects like bees and so forth and bugs in your garden to pollinate those, they will go unpollinated, right? And once they're unpollinated, this will fall off soon after, right? So to ensure that you allow this to hold and to develop, what you need to do is to pollinate. I am not seeing any bees or any insect flying around, so what I'm doing is to ensure that I pollinate it. Now, two ways you can do it. You can get a little Q-tip, the one that they used to clean out your ears, and this right here, before I go to that step, this right here is the male flower. So notice the difference with the male flower and the female flower. The female flower have that little fruit, all right, below the flower bud itself, petal itself, the petals, while this one only have the flower, it does not have the fruit. So this is the male flower and that's the female flower right there. All right, so what you need to do is to take these little pollen grains right here. All right, so we can show you them. They are very small. So these are called the pollen grains. So what needs to happen is that the pollen grain needs to be transferred from this male flower over onto this part of the female flower, the top right here. So that's the female section of the flower. This is the male section, right? So you need to have pollen grain transfer from over here to over there, right there, for pollination to occur. And once that happens, then the next step is fertilization, where the pollen will go down into this and fertilize this, which is the ovary, and then this will grow and develop. All right, so that's what needs to happen. So in nature, what will happen is that either wind or insect, in this case, this is not a wind pollinated plant, this is an insect pollinated plant, and this is watermelon, by the way. So the insects will carry, because they know the insects will go and they will feed on the plant for nectar, the flower for nectar and so forth, and pollen, such as bees, right? So once they are doing that, they will inadvertently carry over the pollen grain from over here to over there, fertilizing and pollinating the plant ultimately. So because you are not seeing any insect, what you need to do is to pollinate your plant yourself. So basically you are mimicking what the insect what they do. So what you need to do, as I said, you can get a Q-tip, you can just wipe it here, right? Get off some of the pollen grain, and then you carry it over here and you put it onto this part of the flower, and then you'll pollinate it. Now there's a small window for you to do this, because after a while this will close. So in the daytime it will close, or about 2 to 3 days after it open up like this, it will close permanently, right? So there's a small 2 to 3 day period that you're going to have to pollinate this plant. Also in the day it closes, so it opens mostly in the morning for the bees. So what I'm going to do is just to take this off, and then I'm going to come over and you're going to put it right here. Make sure some of the pollen grain wiped off on this. So what you can see now on the top is the pollen grain themselves on it. So what will happen, what I just did is called pollination, the transfer of pollen from the male portion of the plant, or the flower rather, to the female portion of the flower. That's pollination. So what needs to happen now is fertilization, where this pollen grain is going to go down into the ovary and fertilize it. That's fertilization. So soon after that happen, the little fruit, this will start to grow and to get bigger and bigger and bigger. It's just like when a woman is pregnant. It's, you know, when the sperm and the egg, you know, meet and they fertilize and they grow into a baby. You understand? It's the same concept. So right now that is fertilized. That is pollinated rather, but the fertilization will occur naturally within the plant. We can't do that process. So what I just did was to pollinate the plant. Alright guys. So remember, if you're not seeing any bees flying around on your melon vine and your cucumber vine, you can pollinate them yourself. You can get a little Q-tip and you do it, or you can just break off one and you do it the same way. It's effective. All right, I'm going to give you an update on this. So remember where this plant was, that this flower pot right there. So the general area here. So I'm just go out and show you. So we're going to come back. I'm going to provide an update video on this particular one to show you when it's growing and how it is progressing in the future. So guys, remember, you can pollinate your plants, right? And the best time to do it is early in the morning when the flower petals are open, exposing the female section of the flower, which is called, what is it, the style or the stigma? I think that section is the stigma, don't quote me on it. So pollination is the transfer of pollen grain from the anther to the stigma of a flower right there. And then fertilization is when the pollen grain goes down into the ovary and fertilizes it, and the ovary develops into the fruit. And that's what is happening over there. Well, that is what we hope to happen. Alright guys, I hope you learned something. As usual, we always teach. And as I said, if you are a new viewer, you can subscribe to the channel, Home and Garden Fix and Tricks. And we have real estate videos, home and garden videos, and we also do Mechanic Monday on a Monday. So, where we fix cars and small equipments around the house, small machine like your weed whacker, your lawnmower, and so forth. Alright, so it's a little one-stop shop YouTube channel. Once you're a homeowner or a prospective homeowner, or just a person who love that sort of lifestyle, you know what I'm saying, subscribe to the channel. And on our channel we have most persons in their 30s up. So it's from 30 up. So that tells me that a lot of matured persons are watching the channel and they are enjoying the channel. So please share it with your family and friends and tell them to come over and help us to grow. Alright, back in the days, a little myth, let me just share something with you guys. A little myth that we have in Jamaica is that if you point fingers on the on the melon or the pumpkin, they will fall off. Right, so people say when the pumpkin them just come out or the melon them just come and say, don't point on them, they will fall off. No such thing. That's a myth. Alright, it fall off because it did not fertilize. So once no pollination occur and no fertilization, ultimately this little fruit here will fall off. Alright, that's why it fall off. So it's not because you point on it, it's just because there were no bees or no insect in the patch, and it did not pollinate and it did not fertilize, hence it fall off. So what you're doing now is to prevent it from falling off by pollinating it first and allowing the plant to fertilize itself, basically. You understand, guys? So that's it. And as I said, I hope you learned something. And you can always go and point at your watermelon or your pumpkin. See, I'm pointing on it. So look for the update, guys, in the next couple of days, because in the next couple of days this will start to develop and start to grow. But it looks very healthy and it looks like it's going to work. All right, thank you very much. And as I said, go and check out the rest of the content on the video. Thank you, and may God bless you. Bye bye.